Let's kill that bass head. Alright, let's do this.
I'm on the air, we got this pockets flow. It's me and Tony on the mics, we gotta let you know of current events, little gaming, sprinkle in some entertainment. We stay humble, but our moms still think we're famous. Turn up the bass and baby, maybe let that magic flow. Our spoken word is all the things you really wanna know. Having a good time on the show, T-Bows and Matty G. Tune in and hit subscribe and join us on the FAP.
Welcome everyone to the Freaking Awesome Podcast. I'm your host Anthony Bowes, and today we have a wonderful guest with us. Not only a comedian, actor, and producer, just an all-around amazing guy, a host of Fan Room Live, Jae Benjamin. Jae, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Anthony, for having me. I'm honored to be here.
We're, so exciting. It was also really nice that I got to be on Fan Room Live with you not too long ago for a short time to meet Tommy Chong, which of course is a wonderful Canadian legend himself. And I one question I forgot to ask him when we had that chance was, does he ever get tired of people walking up and just being like, "Whoa," and start talking about pod? Like, I wonder if he just has a non-pod conversation.
He's like, first of all, he'll be back on the 17th. Of
Awesome.
November, he'll be back, but for 60 minutes, we'll get him for 60 more minutes on that day. But he's one of those guys that when you see going through conventions or wherever you are, they gravitate, they swarm to him.
Yeah.
And everyone just starts to circle around him. It's kind of an unbelievable thing. So I don't think he ever gets tired of it. But it's a good question to ask him. You may just have to come back on the 17th and ask him.
Just might. That would be amazing. Yeah, I would have one of the moments that afterwards when you walk away, you're like, "Oh, why didn't I ask him that?"
Yeah, it happens a lot. And even when you meet people in general, even if it's face to face, like at an event or you're somewhere, this or that, and you go, "Oh," you have that moment where you're like, "Why did I do that?" And that was my dog was really decided to join the show.
Well, that's okay. We're pet friendly, so it's all right if he sticks his nose in. So
he's smart enough to know, like he knows I film enough shows from the house, so he knows when I'm doing a show to just go and kind of chill out somewhere. And today, whatever's going on with the neighbor dogs and whatever's happening with he's just not having it. So he's
driving him nuts.
Yeah, he's getting in on the mix.
Yep. Well, that's all right. We'll have a little patience with him.
He can do whatever he wants.
Sure. So I wanted to ask you, first of all, I have to say, man, you are a man of many looks. I couldn't believe when I was looking for a little bit of photographs of you, like there are so many photographs of you out there. And I'm just like, oh my God, it's like, you're just so, I don't even know. It's like you got a face for every situation. And I even saw you one with a really big beard at one point. And I'm just oh my God, like you're just rocking the face armor. That's amazing.
I was working on a movie that we were supposed to film the movie, and we ended up not filming the movie because one of the guys got arrested for something crazy, a weed offense of all things. In this day and age, and it kind of shut everything down. But I had to grow. I was going to play this old kind of music manager type guy, and so they really wanted that beard. And I don't want to fake it. I don't like to do that as an actor and educated and everything of this level in terms of the theater arts and method acting and things of this nature. I wanted to actually grow the beard. Plus, I'd never grown anything like that in my life. So I grew this amazing.
It was impressive.
Beard. It was pretty impressive. And there were days where like I would just curl it out. So instead of like most people like have you're constantly going like this, I would constantly comb it out.
Okay.
So I would roll it out, so I would look like a lion. It would look like a half a lion's mane.
You got like the Jack Black beard happening.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
How long did that take you to grow?
I want to say it took me like 6 months or a year.
Wow, that's impressive.
It took me a good, let's call it like a good year. And then in that year, I had gotten invited to go to the Laker game. And I'm sitting floor seats at the Laker. Actually, they were Eddie Griffin's ticket. And I ended up getting Eddie Griffin's tickets to sit floor side at the Lakers. And I'm sitting at the Lakers with my fellow comedian T Ward we're in an interview, but what are you doing? What, he's in on the mix. What are you doing? But sorry about that, folks. Little camera movement. That is my fault. I hope no one got sick. So I ended up having to sit, and I'm on TV now, and the beard, and everybody, and the camera's on me the whole time, and they're purposely panning at me the entire show. They're trying to figure out who I am.
Exactly.
Well, who's this guy sitting in the front with that crazy beard, fanned out like a lion?
Who's this crazy hobo that's out front that's got floor tickets?
That or something a little scarier in that day. They might have thought, hey,
exactly.
Security, bring a dog by him, please, and make sure there's no funny little powdery substances that could blow shit up. Like,
yep.
I look like I was auditioning for ISIS.
Yeah, it's amazing. So for the listeners out there, like even if you're listening right now, type in Jae Benjamin. Just go to the images. You can't miss it. About halfway down the page, it's really, really impressive. But it's just, I just love the amazing different looks that you've had over the years, and I just thought I would mention that to you. That very versatile, very very cool. So, but the beard I think was what really shocked me.
Oh man, I'm honored by that, and I appreciate it. The internet's been very interesting for me, where a lot of people take their stuff down, pictures from past or when they're starting out or something, or they'll redo their Instagram pages and all these things. As it's happened, and I really started to really break in and get it, like, and keep going, and now we're going and going and going. I don't take any of it down. So you really see kind of these transitions. So I was going through certain relationships and love relationships or breakups or certain other moments or financial things or whatever it was. Every one of those looks had something going on behind it, as well as working. I was either filming something, or somebody wanted me to do this or show up looking like that or whatever it is, which again, in this industry, I prefer to do it on my own and grow it and really have it and bring that aspect to something, as opposed to, costume and wardrobe and makeup going through all that. That's going to turn me into something really cool looking.
Like some type of crazy creature from another planet.
Yeah, I'd love to play like a cool creature. There's that show on Netflix. Was it Beauty and the Beast or something like that, where they now dress up? You don't even recognize them in the Hollywood makeup, and they're these cool creatures, and then you have to find out. So I wouldn't mind playing a creature like that in a movie. That'd be fun.
Oh, Ron Perlman, the original Beast, right? I mean, had such a unique look, and we couldn't believe that. Yeah, I like he's a really cool dude. So I gotta say that it's really, really cool. Again, I am curious. So you grow this beard for a year, and then they cancel the film. Like, did you just like, oh, for fuck's sakes, and you just like cut it off immediately, or did you like, well, I guess I've been rocking this long enough?
It was kind of a collateral shit show for me when that happened, because I had a lot of things involved with that picture, and I had brought a lot of people in to that picture and people to work on this film and be part of that film. So when it fell apart and everything tinkered down, it was like a year or 2 year depression from that, because we were like right here to do the cusp. And that's hard. It's so hard. It takes a village to put the movie together. It takes a village to do anything really in this industry. And when you get that close, and then something crazy happens and the whole thing's over and everything's lined up so beautifully, it's hurtful. But now I realize all these years later that I didn't really have shit lined up for what was going on, compared to like where I'm at today, compared to where that was. Like, if I had been doing that movie now with what I have what's accessible to me and who's accessible to me and how they're accessible to me, and just being able to pick them up, pick up the phone and call someone and get it done, that movie would have gotten done even faster with even bigger stars and even bigger everything, So everything for its reason. So it was its learning curve. It was its thing. And I'm grateful for it. And I'm grateful that that really kind of did happen, believe it or not, in a weird kind of fucked up way. Like, kind of grateful, because at the end of the day, all this other better shit happened. You know, all this cooler stuff happened, more important things, more pain that made me stronger, you know, that brought better opportunities. And then COVID hit, you know.
Well, they say, you know, that door closed, another one opens. So
that's
that's probably a good thing for you. And
believe it or not, that is the truth. It really is true. And it really does work that way. One closes, the other one opens. And you may not even like the one that opens, but if you bring yourself up to step through it, kind of push yourself a little bit and go someplace maybe you didn't expect to go, you have no idea what world you enter into by doing that, and who is on the other side there for you. And a lot of people miss that. I've done it a lot in my life, and I realized no longer to do that. Now my gut says go, and like, so you go and do that, and then you walk through this amazing thing, and wow, I met this one, that one, and I got another job out of it, and you know, whatever it is, there are things that happen that are absolutely fantastic. You know,
yeah, for sure. Now, how long have you been in the LA area for?
I've had a romance with LA since the 90s.
Okay.
So I've been going back and forth from New York to LA since, I want to say 96, 95, 96. Hang on one second.
Time to get the dog help. Still on mute. Nope. There we go.
I'm so sorry about that. Everyone forgive me. I had to put the dog up because he's sitting here talking to me. What he does is he dropped his Frisbee on my lap. And then he very manipulatively goes like 3 feet away. And then he stares and he knows I'm speaking with someone. And he
just takes that little opportunity on.
Yeah, but he makes the smallest little noise. And he was sitting here for 5 minutes doing it the whole time. And I'm like, today is his day. And hey, we're going to go for a very long walk later.
Yeah, I was going to say there's going to be some payback if you don't. So, I mean, I have a dog myself, and you're lucky. I mean, that's very subtle. My dog just left hooks me. Like she comes up and just full on paw comes out and she smokes me in the face whenever she wants something. And,
funny.
Yeah, I love the dog.
Dexter's amazing. He really is. I love that dog with all my heart. And excellent. Oh my God.
What kind of dog is it?
He's a German Shepherd.
Okay.
He's a 100% service animal.
Oh, nice.
And he's terrific. And I just love him. But today, of all days, he wanted
you know, if you don't go for that walk, he's going to poop in your shoe. So you best.
Yeah, he will leave a little gift or something, or it'll be 3 in the morning. I will have gone to sleep, and he'll decide that's when he wants to go for his last pee.
That's right. It'll be payback. Yeah, for sure.
So as we were saying,
yes. You know, so I was just saying that. So you have kind of bounced back and forth from New York. To
from New York to LA. So I've been going back and forth for, let's say, since the 90s. Mm-hmm. So over 25 years.
Okay, excellent. You've made quite a lot of friends, especially in the industry. I'm always interested and amazed to see the people that you have connected with over the years, and you've got quite a star-studded friends group. I mean, was that all kind of early in the age that has built up over time, or is that relatively recently?
You know, it goes like this, you know. Mm-hmm. And there have been, when I'm speaking of walking through that door and just taking certain opportunities or having those moments where normally you'd shy away from them and you wouldn't want to go or something, you push yourself to go, and then you kind of realize, you know, this amazing thing happens. And that's where I started meeting a lot of these big stars, a lot of these big celebrities. And a lot of it's really just kind of luck and timing and being in the right place at the right time and just kind of whatever. And me not being a shy person, so I'll walk up to anybody and have any conversation with them, and have no fear about it. And that works pretty well for me in situations. So it's a neat thing. I really in New York City is where I cut my teeth. In the industry, and New York made me. I am New York made, as they say, and I'm happy am proud about that. That city is home forever to me.
Good,
And
beautiful city.
It's a beautiful place. And my first experience really with a big movie star, becoming friends with a big movie star, was through my buddy Epstein. He introduced me to his best friend, which is Steve Guttenberg.
Mm-hmm.
So I then meet Steve Guttenberg, and I get invited to. I was living in a penthouse that a friend, an old friend from summer camp who had owned the building at the time, had wanted me to be in this penthouse. He wanted famous people in the building, and he wanted more famous clients. And then a movie deal went south. Another movie deal went south with a very famous somebody, and it was millions of dollars have gone. And I wrote a letter and said, I'm not staying in the penthouse anymore. And he said, oh, don't worry, blah, blah. And then he turned around and sued me, and then did all this crazy shit.
Oh, boy.
Trying to become famous. Yes, it's figured, hey, let's just sue the guy when so that was insane. But so I met them there at this building, and Epstein had lived in the floor under me, and he was best friends and still is with Gutenberg since they were kids. Mm-hmm. And I never really believed him. He's like, oh, I'm friends with Steve Guttenberg. He's my best friend. I'm like, yeah, bullshit. No, really, I'll show you. And I get a knock on my door. And I open the door, and there's Steve Guttenberg with Epstein standing there with 10 pages of a script in their hand.
Oh,
and
wow.
Bob had this fantasy for this movie called Subway that we ended up writing. We're very close to making the movie. We have everything we need. We're just attaching people to it now, and blah, blah, blah. And it is the airplane of 2020. 2020, well, it would have been with COVID. 2021, it would be 2022 now.
Yeah.
So, but it's a modern day airplane, but on the New York City subway. And nobody thought of it. We thought about it. We wrote it. We bought everything, all the rights to the ideas and the trademark. We did everything. So in that process, I get introduced to Steve. So Steve starts letting me hang out with him. And this is when he was back in New York City at the time, because he was going back and forth, and he was doing a bunch of movies. And this is before he, got married, like 5-6 years ago. This is going back like 10 years ago now, 12 years ago already, which for me is insane to think about that. This is so long ago, but it was like yesterday. So now I'm palling around with Steve Guttenberg. And this is now dope, because I never thought little old Jae Benjamin from where I grew up in the cornfields of such and such, or the dream, the whatever, and watched every one of his movies, is now like dude's friend. Hey, he's texting me at 5. He's texting me at 5 in going, "You ready to go to the park?" And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Did you make your bed? Did you brush your teeth?" I'm like, "Oh shit." I'm like, I better get it together. And that was my first experience, and still to this day, one of my very dear friends, and I really learned a lot through Steve about Hollywood, and about how to have a separation between the Hollywood and family, Hollywood and friends, where to talk about certain things, when not to. Just a lot of these little nuances and things that you don't learn them in college. They don't teach you that in acting school, and you don't get it. There is no school to break into Hollywood. There is no any of that. You either are going to do it and fail miserably until you make it, or whatever. I've been homeless 5 times, and I come from a phenomenal family, and I walked away from everything to go in one direction. Yeah. And that is what it takes really to do it. So I became friends with Steve, and he and then I met a lot of people through him, and then he was inviting me to parties to hang out or go here, and then he got me onto the set into the movie of Affluenza, which was produced by Morris Levy and directed by Kevin Ash, who is a beautiful human being and a friend of mine. And they put me in a little squint of this movie, and that was enough to get me into a little squint of another one. And then prior to that, I'd already done like Pluto Nash and Table One, and I was in a little bit of Collateral Damage. My cousin Andy directed and produced Collateral Damage, The Fugitive, Chain Reactions, all of those flicks. So I was able to kind of I was in LA for the first time. I just turned 21, and I just had left the University of Connecticut and New York and all this stuff. So I'd gone out to LA, and I got into that. So these little things kind of help. So in 2010, when I started over, and I get back in New York City after all of these years of the ups and downs and going back and forth to New York, LA, and wins and failures, more failures than wins. You know, I did these things that started to happen. You know, kind of what was meant to be was meant to be. So the invention of Instagram, Facebook,
I know.
not having that, where now we have all this stuff, there was an instant credibility that happened because of some of these friendships that I was blessed and lucky enough to get brought into and to have created. Because those friendships now were going public. They were going all over the internet, and people were seeing them. So it was like, well,
who's this guy?
Yeah, who's this Jae Benjamin guy? And why is he hanging out with Steve Huber? And why is he over here with this one and that one and blah 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 blah? Like, what's going on? You know, it's like they're like a walking zealot. This dude's everywhere, you know, and that's really what did it. It was all of this, everything we're doing right now, those relationships, and then those relationships going public very quickly in a new way called the internet, called social media, called whatever. And then people then asked those questions, and then they found out, and then they met me, and they were like, oh yeah, like definitely, like we get it, like we can work with that.
It's funny, I often forget that, you know, and I try not to date myself at this point, but, you know, like to have gone through so many of these technological bounce and climbs, right? Like we didn't have cell phones, you know, you had a rotary phone. I think, my God, when I first started, it was a rotary, and you moved touch tone.
I remember my great grandmother had the thing, and
that's right.
I love that phone.
You know, and you know, when there weren't area codes, you just were able to dial the number out directly. And and I used to remember everybody's phone number. On top of that, your social insurance number. Like, you remember all these numbers. Now, because I have a cell phone, I don't remember shit. Like, I'm lucky if I remember my wife's phone number.
And how about getting around? Like, I remember, and not to completely date myself, we didn't have Google Maps. We didn't have smartphones. We still had phones that look like bricks you build a house with, right?
That's right.
So
good old car.
I remember the first time moving out to LA in the 90s. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know how to drive from New York City to LA. I didn't know. My father had to like give me a physical map, highlight the routes, and we'd pick hotels before you had to know what state you were going to go and how far in and what town, and you had to really plan shit out. Like, now you just pick up the phone and you're like, I could just go here and not worry about it. It will get me to where I need to go. And now I can download money from my bank or from a cryptocurrency account, and I don't even need to wait until the morning. And you know, you could do all. It's like
I pay with my watch. You know, like I just like beep. So
James Bond, right? We were kids. We were like, I would love to talk to you, Q. You know, like,
exactly.
Now you can do it. Now Alexa answers, what would you like to hear?
Yep, exactly. You know? So stop listening, Alexa, you freaking pervert. But,
she tells me naughty things to go to sleep.
Right. I know. You say, tell me a story, and then it turns out to something like steamy romance. You're like, okay.
Well, if she's plugged in. So, and Alexa's fun. If you guys have an Alexa at home, and I don't have one in this house, it's one in New York, in the New York place. But I tell you that you can have fun with Alexa. I don't know if people know. You can just ask her shit, like random shit, like trivia questions. There's like Trivial Pursuit games built into Alexa. I had no idea. I was at Epstein's place. I've gone and I go to Epstein's place and I'm hanging out, and I said, so Alexa, let's play some sexual trivia game. And I was just fucking around. I was just having fun, like whatever. And she started, like, she knows sexual trivia.
Wow.
So, excuse me, if you guys are at home and you have Alexa and it's just you and your loved one, ask her to play sexual trivia and have fun.
Or even if you don't have a loved one with you, maybe you just want to get a little intimate with
Maybe,
Alexa.
maybe you just want to
get to know her a little bit better.
On certain things. Yeah.
Exactly. So, my God, I had a friend who loved going into other people's houses, and when they were up in the bathroom or something, he'd go in and start creating a grocery list of like weird things like turkey, whipped cream, sex toys, like all these different things, lubrication, and then it would like end up showing up and populate the person's phone. They'd be like, "Oh my God, what the hell's been going on?" So,
That's funny.
yeah,
Super funny.
Yeah, you got to make sure you turn on that voice recognition feature. If not, people are going to screw with you. So
yes, literally. And when that first came out, that was everybody's fear. Like, oh, I'm going to be hanging out, and then the phone's going to like do something, and then it's going to say something crazy or whatever. My hair's a little crazy. I'm messing with it. Sorry about that, folks.
How many people are worried about when people come over and you got to call up something on Alexa and you're just like, please God, don't pull up my porn history, like some weird stuff that might come out.
You have to worry about that with your regular iPhone. Like if you don't turn off the certain settings, what you just said, the voice activation, it triggers something, and then you could be sitting in a restaurant and it could do something absolutely insane, and it could do that. Which is a funny thing. I remember when the iPhone first came out and you could put in the ringtones and all those crazy, funny pre-recorded ringtones. And I don't even know if I should tell this story because it may not even be funny anymore in today's world. Because God knows you can't even tell certain jokes anymore and people get mad.
No, you can't on this show. We don't care.
All I can tell you is that there was this. There was a certain ringtone, and it had a certain ethnicity to the sound and it was a bit. It was a soundbite from a movie that I grew up with as a kid. Yeah. And here I am, I'm sweating, even wanting to tell the story now. Normally I would tell the story, but now I'm like, wait, I don't want anyone to get offended by it or do something weird. This is the world we live in now. This is kind of the truth. A little scary about that, but
yes,
I remember it. I won't go into the full story because I don't want people to get upset because 5 years ago it would have been hilarious.
Precursor, everybody. Jay's going to talk about something that he's a little nervous about. He's meaning no harm, no insult to anybody. It's all just in good fun.
It is 100% correct. And so we're going back to 2010. So the ringtone goes off. It goes, pick up the phone, and it's in this particular accent of this particular actor and person and the scene from this movie. And it just so happens that I'm sitting in a pizza place on 101st and Broadway in New York City, and I was the only person there. But when the phone rang, apparently there was another person there, and that person happened to be the same ethnicity.
Oh no.
Was going off from the ringtone, and I couldn't have been any more mad. I was like, oh no! Holy shit! And I grabbed my phone. I'm like, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Oh my God! Yeah, I guess at that point you got to be real. If they're like, well, that ringtone's gone.
and it's typical that would happen to me in that moment. Like, it was only me there, and then I go to sit down to eat the pizza, and the person walks in, and the phone goes off, and I'm like, oh my God. Because it really had only been, we were only playing with them in the house prior. You know what I mean? So I totally had forgotten in general that I'd left that on my phone. So it was kind of a double whammy, but it was a very funny moment. And everybody laughed. But
it's really funny, those rare moments, right, where you're just like utterly embarrassed. And it was totally, there's again no bad meaning behind it. No, it's just like you were just like, oh, I love this movie. It was a great quote. It'll be funny.
It was funny.
And then that moment is not funny.
No, not in that moment. It was not funny at all. And everybody was laughing. I inside was dying because I'm not that person. I am so not that person. I love to make a joke. I'm a Jew. You can make a Jew joke at me all fucking day. I'm cool with it. I was beaten for being a Jew when I was a kid. Thrown out of windows, swastikas painted on my body. I've been through shit you could never imagine, right? Wow. I'm the first one to take the joke. I don't care what it is. And I am the most non-judgmental, racist. I am an equal opportunity joke person. You make them on me, I'm making them on you. It really is from a place of just wanting to have fun. There's nothing nefarious behind it. But I'll tell you that technology does screw you with all of that stuff. And the world has changed even. It's so, I really thought we'd gotten into this Lenny Bruce era for real, where we were free to be. And it was that way up until the Me Too movement 10, 12 years ago when that started. If it's been that long already, or 15 years.
I can't believe that.
And there's a lot of horrible things that happen to people. And that's a scary thing. So that whole movement shifted into now this new PC thing, which we know about. And Chappelle's been going through it with his Netflix show, and everybody what they're saying with him, and the back and forth on both sides of all of this. It's a tough story. It's a tough thing. But you know, the technology really, it works for you or against you. You know, I remember once I was sending a text message that I'd gotten mad at two friends of mine. And I was sending a text message to my girlfriend about it. And she was friends. It was my girlfriend at the time, not anymore. But she was, at the time, was friends with this person. And I thought I was texting her, my girlfriend. I was like, I'm blah, 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 blah. And I can't believe da-da-da-da, and da-da-da-da, and da-da-da-da. Send. And I looked down at the phone and go, oh, fuck. I sent it right to the person that I was complaining about. To the person I was complaining about. I was trying to send it to my girlfriend at the time. That text message went to the person that I was totally shitting on. And that was the end of that friendship. All the way dominoed. I mean, it was the end of the friendship with that person. It was the end of the friendship with their friends. It was the end of the whole circle knew that Jae Benjamin had sent a pretty fucked up text message. And that's not the first time, you know, and I've done it recently. The thing about me that people who know me know this, I'm a no bullshit guy, which is why with the comedy and it's fun and I'm open, I'm a no bullshit guy. You can I don't like to BS around and do something and whatever. And I have no problem telling you to fuck off. I have no problem calling you out on your bullshit. And what upsets me, what triggers me, and what gets my mouth going, and my mouth is awesome. It's taken me years to curb my mouth back so that I don't get in trouble and shit. But there are times where some people will trigger me and I will literally tell them you're out of your mind. I remember once telling somebody, I told someone recently, I said, they did some fraudulent thing and it was for a TV show and they committed fraud and they signed people's names on legal documents that they're not allowed to sign. And they were doing all this crazy bullshit and I caught it. And I said to them, I said, I'm going to expose you for fraud. I'm coming for your head and I'm going to expose you for fraud. This person took the beginning of the sentence, oh my God, he's coming for my head, as I was coming with a sword and I was going to come cut their fucking head off. And they went to the police and they filed a police thing because of the text message, which is hilarious. It's the text message said, I'm coming for your head to expose you of fraud. It didn't say I was coming to kill you, coming to hurt you or do this. I'm 5'8", 5'8.5", almost 5'9", 165 pounds. Guarantee you could kick my ass unequivocally. A fart could kick my ass. I'm the most violent human being ever. So people and technology and this world and this idea of wanting to get caught up or get someone caught up in something to become or to get to another level or to become famous or to get a name out there or to go viral and get shit going, that's where it's getting so scary, where now it's I've pulled full back away from all of it. People text me all the time. I get emails and inboxes and personal messages and I know you. I responded because I know you. There are thousands there just sitting there in that box. I won't answer them. I don't want to go near them. I don't know what the intentions are. I don't know why. I don't know what. I know what I'm doing. I know who I'm working with. I know what I have going on. I know what I'm not willing to risk, and I know what's where we're at in the world now, and I know what to stay away from. So this whole technology and that whole thing is very interesting. So believe it or not, as much as this technology has completely changed my entire life and my entire career everything that we said earlier, it also has been very detrimentally hurtful to a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, and now again, there's that fight over, you know, Dave Chappelle they're saying he's insensitive or whatever it is, and blah blah. I haven't seen his special. I haven't watched it. Not because I didn't want to. I have four TV shows that I'm producing, and 2 of which I star on, and 1 that I host, and then I have a bunch of movies in the pipe, and now I'm the president of partner development for CoinFlix, which is a cryptocurrency company.
Yep.
And we started this, myself and a movie star friend of mine, Ken Davidian, and his son Robert, and their friend Arsen, and my buddy Jay West, and a bunch of our other friends, and Evan Hess, who directed our piece that's online now, The Matrix Video. And we've got Elias Costas down in San Diego, and all of these beautiful people that are on our team and part of what we're doing. And the coin is financing films and projects in the film industry when no one really had an opportunity to do that. We just did an official public launch on November 1st.
Yeah, that's
and
amazing.
Now, yeah, it's huge, and anyone and everybody can buy this cryptocurrency now. And there's a portion of the buys and sells that go into, you know, another wallet that will get used to fund the films, and there's rewards. Yeah. All these beautiful things that you can see easily from our website and from our posts and everything that we're putting out there now. So there's a lot going on. So the point of everything I'm saying is I really stay away from everybody now. I am so shy of all of it now, and I'm afraid of really, I've seen enough, been through enough, heard enough.
Yeah. Everybody with a cell phone could be so career destroying, right?
Yeah.
And it's and I gotta say, for someone who's a comedian, that's gotta be really hard. I mean, a lot of comedians, right?
You see me struggling here. There are things I've wanted to say 5 times, and there's stories I wanted to tell that were extremely apropos to what we were saying. And I have to stop myself and go, "Oh, Jay, I don't know if you can tell that story. I don't think you tell that story anymore. It's not 2018."
Yeah. You do have to be careful, and you know what? I think that's and you were saying earlier with Dave Chappelle and stuff, right? I mean, even he still gets backlash from some of his comedy, and you know, he's had a lot of issues, a lot of personal issues with the way that was treated, and then on top of things, you know, for him, you know, I haven't seen the new special as well. I've heard a lot of people who watched it and said, it's just not what it used to be. Well, no, but I mean, Dave's gone through a lot of shit to get where he is. The fact that he's even back is kind of.
Not only that, he's probably he definitely is the most sought after comedian entertainer in the world. I mean, really, like next to Cedric, who's my business partner and a friend that I'm so honored.
Love Cedric, such a good entertainer.
Cedric, the
no pun intended. No pun intended. Yes.
No pun intended. Yeah. Cedric, you know, so, I mean, in my opinion, those two, him and Chappelle, are really the most sought after entertainers in the world right now. And Chappelle really is kind of this one, you know, the phrase, that GOAT, you know, the GOAT phrase, where everyone just Chappelle. And then, you know, when Eddie Murphy walks down the street, then Chappelle will stop and let Eddie Murphy just kind of walk first. And then, you know, everybody will then just follow behind Chappelle, behind Eddie Murphy type thing. So, and I was a huge Eddie Murphy fan. I got to meet Eddie Murphy as a kid. It was right when he was right before he did Delirious and after he did Beverly Hills Cop. So it's right in that time period. And, you know, so it's all changed, like you said, and what it is. But Chappelle has a different, there's such a pressure on somebody like Chappelle. And that's why he lives in that town he lives in. And it's very peaceful and cool for him, and he can walk around and nobody messes with him, and everybody waves and just says hi, and he can just go on and be. I mean, he needs to be, you know, you got to be outside of the craziness in order.
You know, there's a lot of celebrities that kind of embrace that. At the same time, I mean, celebrities are just people too, you know, and when they're not on film, they kind of want to live a life without someone jamming a camera up their nose, right? I know there's some celebrities out there who are like, oh no, it's your right to come and ask for a picture. I may not give it, but I mean, you know, it comes with the territory, right?
Yep.
But
sign up for that.
Yeah, but the other end of it is still like, it's nice to be able to go out and walk your dog without someone, almost accosting you for a photograph or to talk to you when you just want to have a little bit of peaceful time to yourself.
Some people do have that. You're not going to see Ben Affleck walking his dog quietly,
It's true.
Even J-Lo ain't going to go dog walking quietly down the street. It's just
not
going to happen. So yeah, I hear you on that. I agree with it. There are moments I love it and want it, and there are moments where I don't want it. And everybody is the same. We all got to wipe one.
That's right.
Eat, and we all got to get rid of what we eat. And we all got to wipe where it comes from. So
that's right.
It all comes down to that. We all once in a while got to,
Yeah. Except for my youngest daughter. I think that if she had a lot of money and she was famous, she would just pay someone to wipe her ass. That's just like she's just like, I'm not going to do this. I don't care.
So pay somebody to do it for her.
That's right. That's right.
That was that scene in the first Coming to America. Wipers.
That's right. That's exactly it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like no. You're old enough that you need to figure this out. And she's just like, no.
Now you're married and you have one daughter. You have two. You have two
girls.
How old are the girls?
13 and 7.
13 and 7. And are we like the 13-year-old? Are you our nervous dad now? Like is it?
You know what? The moment I heard it's a girl, I think I got my first white hair. It just went ding, like instantaneously. And it's you're always worried, regardless of anything. You're worried about how are they going to be at school? Are they going to make friends? Are the people going to treat them well? When that first partner breaks their heart, are you going to go want to knock on their door and punch them in the face or not?
I've never been a father. I've not had children. I've never been married, but I know that if I ever did have a child, it would probably be a daughter, and I would be a wreck. Like, in terms, not a wreck like, oh my God, I'd be so happy that I had a daughter. Are you kidding me? I'd be a wreck in terms of like, I would have to worry about all of these things that you just said, and then a laundry list of other stuff, like huge list of stuff, and it would just. Man, it's tough. I
remember my friend walked up when she was only a few days old and said, the beautiful thing about having a son is you only have to worry about one penis. You got to worry about all of them. And like instantly, it's just like, I'm going to kill you and your kid. Yeah.
But
it's true. It's true. You do have to be careful. So, yeah.
Yeah, you do.
But, you love being a parent and you don't give it up. It's and a lot of people say, having a kid is so much different than having a pet or a dog or a cat. You know what? I have seen dogs and cats that react just like kids. They're just as dependent. They still need your love. They still need your attention, and they still count on you to feed it and, keep it. So, I don't rip on people who are just like, you don't understand. That's just a dog, Yeah. No, it's just the same, and you've got a fur baby that you got to look after and take care of. It's still a dependent.
I love my Dexter. That dog, he's a lifesaver, man. He is the greatest, most loving dog ever.
Yeah.
That's an hangover. Say it again.
I was gonna say, even with like an argument for that is, like you have your kid hopefully for generations. I only have a dog for about a decade. My child has to be loved harder and longer, or faster. So
true. It's true. It's true. It's not an easy thing to be a parent, and it's not an easy thing to raise kids. And I can't imagine, and although I can very much imagine, what it's like in the world. Everyone says, "Oh, you'll never know until you're a parent," and durka, and I'm like, I get it. But I am part of this world. I am in this world. I am in the entertainment industry. The entertainment industry still is in the center of the universe, for universes, for most of the universe, unless people just completely shut it off, and that's great. That's up to them. But the pressure, just hearing kids when I'm in line at the grocery market talking to their mom about, oh, I got X amount of likes on my post, or I wish more people would appreciate what and it's like, now that we didn't have that as kids. We grew up and ran around outside and met girls.
You didn't give a shit what people said.
No, not at all. You didn't care, not like that. Because you didn't live with it every day. Like you didn't reopen the same kid didn't come up to you and say, we hate you, like every day. You know what I mean? Yep. But when they go onto the social media, they get that feeling every time they have that negative experience of, oh, they didn't like my page, or, oh, they made that horrible comment, or oh, whatever, oh, this or that. So now you're out to try and please some kind of system that really isn't who you are. You know, like I mean, you see kids today, they all have, you know, the tablets and the phones and the runner. I mean, we ran around as kids.
I'm guilty. Yeah, my kids have them.
We played kickball, wiffle ball, baseball. We ran around the playground. We played on
Drove bikes. Yeah.
Oh,
Things my kids don't even like to do half the time. So it's
they don't even know what it is anymore. You know what I mean? Like at worst, you sat around playing board games, depending on who you were, or Dungeons and Dragons. You know, Paul White, you know, wrestler, big wrestler Paul White, phenomenal human being. He's a huge D&D nerd. He like I couldn't believe it.
I love when stuff comes out like that.
He's like, bro, he goes, I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons forever. Like he has a group of celebrity friends. All super famous friends that are all regular friends that get together religiously every Monday night, and they all play D&D together.
Absolutely love it.
They're changing dungeon master roles and going through all this thing, and like so, you know,
just amazing. I love it. You know, and that's a perfect example of celebrities are real people too. They want to sit around. They want to play board games. You know, you want to watch movies, and it's what's super important. You know, like I mean, to me, I mean, randomly, Arnold Schwarzenegger could walk up. You know, you could say, "Hey, how's it going?" But you know, I just feel I am that type of person that I just don't want to get in their face. You know, like I just like.
I'm the opposite. I'll go right up to him. I'll be like, yo, what up? Dude.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really cool, but at the same time, I don't think I would want to pester. I don't know. I just like it's wonderful talking with people.
My wiring is so different where it's just like my personality just at some moments I just can't resist. You know, like there's just some unresistable. I'll tell you a great story. This is many years ago. This is back in the 90s in New York City. And I was working at Caroline's on Broadway. I started out as the door guy, and I was opening up the door for the celebrities and taking them down into the main club or to the private VIP or whatever it was. That was my job. That was really my first interaction with the celebrities, period. To really put a button on that would have been in 1998, working for Louis Saranda and Caroline Hirsch at Caroline's on Broadway and being their liaison to every celebrity that walked in the door of the club. I was the go-to. So in that thought that I just lost my thought, shit, I hate when that happens. What was I saying real prior to that real quick?
Just like being wired differently to go
I'm wired. Like I have no problem going up to someone or somebody. I don't care who they are. Like if I'm fascinated on some level, I have a chance I'm going to say hi to you. I'm walking down the street. It's snowing. It's like 98, like 1998. It's around 98, somewhere in there. Could have been 99, somewhere in that time. Yeah. So I'm walking down the street. It's snowing outside. There's literally nobody on Madison Avenue. I'm headed towards Caroline's, which is like 58th and Broadway. So I'm coming through and I'm walking through. I had a place on 68th and 3rd Avenue. So I was weaving around the block. I'm on this empty block, and there's a man walking next to me. Just casually walking in the snow, dressed very well. This beautiful scarf and this hat, and just very cool. And I noticed there's a photographer on his right. And sometimes I'm a little aloof. Like I can't tell. Like sometimes I can't tell. Like when women are hitting on me, or like I'm just kind of like, you know what I mean? I'm just me. You know, I'm just in the moment. I'm having fun. So I can't. So I didn't really notice at that time. Especially at that point in my life, I never would have thought anything like this. And the guy's paparazzi snapping pictures of the guy on my right. I turned my head, and it's Andy Garcia.
Oh,
so immediately, I am as nervous could be. So nervous. But I turn my head and I go, "You're Andy Garcia." He goes, "Well, yes. Well, yes, I am. And who are you?" And I said, "Well, I'm Jae Benjamin. There's my doorbell. Can I get that doorbell real quick?"
Yeah, go for it.
I'm sorry, guys. Hang on.
No, that's quite all right.
I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah. By the way, this is a good time for our listeners who are on the live show. If you want to ask Jay a question, feel free to jump on the chat board and send in a message. I'll happily post it up for him to take a peek.
Sorry about that, guys. So we've had everything happen today, from the dogs to the dogs to the dogs, and an unexpected UPS delivery to whatever it is. So back to the story. As I'm walking down the street, I turn my head. It's Andy Garcia, and we get in this great conversation. And I'm walking on air at this time, and he was doing Arturo Sandoval. He had just done that movie for HBO, so he was actually on the way by himself, walking through the snow down Madison Avenue to get to like a premiere, some sort of premiere party for Arturo Sandoval. And we had this amazing conversation. And after that, he said, I will never forget you. I don't forget people. And I said, well, that's interesting. I'm the same way. I have an elephant's memory. I won't forget you either, Andy Garcia. And that was the end of the conversation. It's kind of really funny how the end of it. Then I move out to LA, and it's my first week in Studio City, where I lived for the first time, and I go down the street to get some work done. I had a new Maxima at the time, and I think it popped a tire. Some weird thing happened on the 101, and so I get off. So I'm in between now, like Burbank and Studio City. It's my first week, and I pull into this garage, like a car fix garage place, whatever it is.
Yep.
And I walk in, and there's pictures of Andy Garcia everywhere around the entire the entire place, everywhere. And I'm thinking, how crazy is this, right? I've been in LA 1 week. I'm coming into this place. All of a sudden, there's all this stuff here. And I end up meeting the owner of the place. It turns out to be a family member of his that owns the place. So all the pictures are theirs. And he keeps all of his movie trailers there. All of his cars were there. Like, everything was there, and I'm like, this has to be a sign from God. Like it just was such a cool thing. So there's these little cool moments that have popped up, whatever, and I follow those, like the little white rabbit in the Matrix, like follow the white rabbit, and then just signs everywhere. There's signs, one of these things. So
it's really, really funny. Similar experience. There's a garage in Trenton, Ontario. And I go in there, and I'm looking at this mechanic, and he looks just so familiar, and I can't quite place it at first. And my wife's kind of talking with him. Turns out it's Nicolas Cage's cousin, and looks exactly like Nicolas Cage, just a little bit heavier set. And I was just like, it's Nicolas. Oh my God, it looks like Nicolas Cage, and it even sounds like him. Like, I was just like, wow, that's really crazy. So Garage and Nicolas Cage as well. So very, very interesting. That there must be something about garages and family members of Hollywood movie stars. You
got to trust your car with someone, right?
That's right. That's right.
I think back in those days, I think people, even in today's day, I mean, people you're that famous, or you're on that level, or you're involved that heavily in the spotlight, and you have an opinion about something, and there's people that have an opposite opinion about your opinion. You may get nervous that somebody's going to blow your car up. You may get nervous that somebody's going to try and do some crazy stuff. I don't blame you. I mean, I've had people threaten me a ton. I had a video go viral during the pandemic. I was so pissed and so scared. I mean, what do we know? We still don't know that much really about COVID, other than it's scary and will kill you. But I remember posting a video. That video went completely viral within 2 days. Millions and millions of views and thousands of death threats, and so it's crazy.
It really is.
It's crazy. And I've had people, next time the pandemic's over and you're live at a comedy club, we're gonna come get you. And I'm thinking, oh man, that's what I get for telling the lady I was gonna come get her for fraud. You know what I mean? And like, keep thinking, like, I was like, why? Like, why do you have to be that way? Like, now you want to come kill me because I said wear a mask? Like, fuck you,
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's so that's the world, and that brings us full circle. What I'm saying, we're like, I've now all these years later just pulled back. I haven't dated in years. I haven't, it's like I've just pulled back, and now I have all of these things going on, and I'm really very protective of all of that and of those relationships. I'm really married to my job. I'm really dating my job right now. If there's a woman that comes along and she is the one, then my entire life whatever part of it she wants, she's welcome to it.
Maybe if you're lucky, she can actually like be an editor or something that could also just work in the film with you. It would just be so much easier, right?
Or be in the industry, be part of it. Like if you're in the industry, it's great. Like then you get it. You can come with me everywhere I go. It's that simple. And if you can't go because I can't bring you there, you understand it's not because I don't want to bring you there. It's because like somebody in the business said you cannot do. You are by yourself. This is you know. Right. So at the end of the day, it's still a solo show and it's still a solo journey. But if I could find somebody that, you know, understands that much or has enough patience with it or themselves are part of it, then that could change the game on some level. But in the meantime, I deal with my TV show Between the Ropes with Jackie Callan, which is our boxing show, which is we've already filmed the first 7 episodes, and that will be streaming on Good Life Influencer TV through Tiki Live to Apple TV. I've got Fan Room Live, which is also streaming on those same platforms, Influencer TV, Good Life TV, and all the way up to Tiki and to Apple TV. I have Keeping Your Chin Up, which is also is going through there. I also got picked up by another network. This is the first time I'm saying this publicly. You're getting an official public announcement, Anthony. It's actually big news. So
exciting.
I've not quite told anyone that this is going on yet, mate. So you're gonna be the first one to hear it. So
love it.
It goes a little like this. So I got picked up to be the host of a new, I can't say the name of it, but a new they have America's Funniest Home Video with Saget, and then they changed it, and then Cedric has been doing one for CBS and whatever. There is a big streaming platform, a certain streaming network that tapped me on the shoulder, and they have decided to have me host their version of their funniest home video, streaming video, whatever you want to call it.
Amazing.
So we're gonna get into filming those within the upcoming weeks as well. So all of this stuff's going on top of the crypto company, and then I have my movie Subway, and I'm working on 3 projects with Ken Davidian, who also is my partner on CoinFlix. He has two beautiful films in particular that we're working on together. One is called Pistachio, which I think I'm allowed to say that. The other one I will not say, and the one that we're writing is a TV show that is super, super funny, has never been done before, and that's kind of like my hitch. I love doing stuff that's never been done before. Even idea-wise. I don't mind seeing people rip ideas from the past and then kind of recreating the ball or whatever it is, but I don't love it. I really don't love it. I still think that we're missing out on a lot of creativity, and I think there's a lot of ideas out there that have yet to ever be done, and that includes twist and horror films, twist and rom-coms. I'm a big rom-com guy. I've been writing a rom-com for 9 years. I've never shown anyone this. I've never told anyone the title of it. I've never told anyone the premise of it, but I can tell you, as I have told everyone, it's never been done before. It's never been the idea around it, how it is, what happened. It's never been done before.
All right,
and I firmly believe that there still are these ideas. We still have these ideas out there. So to constantly just be ripping off from this movie, and
you see it, right?
I mean, stick it into something else. It doesn't. I don't like that. So I'm very.
If you really like movies, you notice it, you see it, and you're just like, oh, well, that was just kind of a takeoff of this movie. So 100%. Really interesting that you're doing something super original.
They rip the spine out and they stick it in the other body like an AI, and they dress it up differently. And like, all right, I'm not knocking anyone for doing it. Said in Andrew Dice Clay tone. I'm not knocking it. But I love Dice, but. What I'm saying is that there's so many ideas out there. We're so creative. Like I could list a ton of shows that are so good right now that have never been done before that prove my point. So but when you do rip the spine out and then you dress it back up with something else, I get a little cringe a little bit because you could have done it so much better or whatever. So when I get involved with a project and I get involved with something, I'm pretty sure it's never been done before. You know, when they came to me for Fan Room Live, and Jeff Krause, who created this with Cedric and Mitch Faulkner, my agent, they created this show, and they came to me. They're like, "Do you want to do this show?" And I said, "No."
I'm glad you said yes eventually.
Again, well, yeah. What happened was that I couldn't understand what they wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And here we were in the pandemic. It just started. Everything's chaos. Nobody knows their ass from their elbow. Are we going to live? Are we going to die? It's insanity.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so confused. And I had just moved. And there was crazy shit going on. And I didn't understand it. I couldn't visualize it. You want to do what? You want to do something on Zoom? You want to just have celebrities meet a fan virtually and ask a question and then jump off? Like, that's kind of, I'm not interested. And then they did a couple of shows.
Mm-hmm.
And about the third show in, I get another phone call. And Jeff goes, "Are you sure you don't really want to do this?" And he was telling me what was going on and all the other stuff. And I immediately said, "No, I'm not sure I don't not want to do this. I think I do want to do this now."
That's right.
So let's do this. And we have our first show. And it was unbelievable. There was something that happened that was so magical in that show that I walked away going, this is why I'm here. This is what I want to do. This gets me off. This is amazing. With it, like the interaction between the fan and the celebrity was unmatched anywhere I've ever seen. There were moments that happened that I've never seen anywhere else. And there were things that were touching, that were so moving as a human being, heartfelt, real moments that were going on. Wow. I was hooked like an addict. I was like, more. I want more. Then I got obsessed with our own show, and I started going out and pushing it. And I started pushing it, and I started hitting up all these contacts I had accrued for the past 30 years of running around a madman from LA to New York to London to Germany, everywhere. Every celebrity I know, everybody in the business, anybody who's anybody, as George Wayne would say, anyone who's anyone. I called them up. I'm like, this is what we're doing. This is what's going on. Blah, 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 blah. And I pivoted and became now this producer hat wearing show salesman, where now I'm selling our show to big name celebrities that I've never asked favors for, never would ask anything other than, "You guys want to get together and smoke a joint today, or what the fuck are you doing?" what are you doing? Now I'm actually calling to ask real favors that I've never in Hollywood done. Now I'm really nervous. You know, like I did it for a couple movies, but now I'm doing it and I'm hosting this thing. So now there's a whole new pressure, and they know when I'm asking them, it's coming from another place. Ooh. Now Jay is asking because he's hosting this show. Now it becomes a new situation. You got to be very careful with that also.
That's right.
You don't want to put your friends in a position where they feel bad saying no or yes, and you don't want them to even have that pressure at all.
That's right. Yeah.
The point of all of it is that this starts going on. I fall in love with the show, and because I'm now in love with the show because of these moments that none of us at Fan Room Live expected to happen. These things now have me at the heart, and they now have me getting out of bed every day, going, this to me is making it. This is the big deal here. Where what am I going to do now? It's 5 a.m. It's 8 a.m. in New York. Where am I going with Fan Room Live today? Who am I calling? Who am I emailing? Who am I pitching it to? What sponsors am I grabbing? What am I doing? Yeah. And this turned into now where this show, and I brought it to the point, I single-handedly brought it to the point where like I brought in the distribution deal, and I brought in that deal. It comes with this package where now with 200 plus million homes in 138 different countries, I now was able to turn our show from being this beautiful moments of this meet and greet, this virtual meet and greet, into now a real TV show where those moments now will live forever. And everybody will be part of those moments at one point or another after they turn us on, or if they turn the show on, or after they've been on the show, whatever it is. these moments will live on. We had Paul White on that one show, and then we were doing a charity for a children's foundation for cancer. And I remember this young boy comes on from England, and I swear he's my inspiration, this kid. And Paul White gave him the shirt off his back on the show, signed it, threw it in the mail, and we're still helping the charity raise money for the rest of the year. But the moment that child had with Paul White, the questions that he asked him were so unbelievable. He was talking like an adult, he was so well ahead of his time for a 10, 11-year-old child because of what he was going through in health, that it advanced him. But the moment that happened was so touching. You had the chills, you had tears in your eyes, you had this stuff going on. And then it happened on another show. And somebody came on and they had a moment and oh my God, you changed my life this way. And this is why. And this is what was going on in my life when I came across you and you became my favorite, movie star, blah, blah. And this was to another person. So this kept going. And so now it's turned into something that's bigger than all of us.
Yeah.
So it's that thing that now I look for. And now I have it with Between the Ropes with Jackie. I was introduced to Jackie through my very dear friend Lisa. We call each other twins. We're that close. And Lisa brought me to Jackie, and then I found out Jackie was related to my family many years ago. A long time ago, like weird, cool stuff. But we started this show together, Between the Ropes, and we taped 3 more episodes on Wednesday. And we had an amazing show with Pinklin Thomas, Pink, the heavyweight championship boxer. And he said something I'll never forget in my entire life, where he had said to Jackie, he was saying something in the moment, and Pink had said to her about other boxers and about the sport of boxing.
Mm-hmm.
He had said, you have to have a good heart and a good chin, and you have to have a good enough chin to I just fucked it up. I just fucked it up. What he said was, you have to have heart, and you have to have a chin, and you have to have a good enough heart to be able to take it on the chin, or you're out of gas from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So it was so profound to me, and I'm writing it down word for word, that at the end of the show, I said to Pink, I said, that phrase, that sentence applies to everybody's life, not just what you were saying in boxing. And I am totally moved for the entire afternoon. I am so moved in a philosophical way that you literally made my day. And that now has happened on Between the Ropes. So now these moments are happening now there. And it happened last Wednesday on a different show with Carla. These are what I'm looking for and what I'm doing. And it seems to be happening now. And these things are so it's just coming together, and it's not an overnight success. It's 30 years of pain. It's 5 times being homeless and living in fucking cars and people's couches and borrowing money from people, and it's an insane ride sometimes. You don't always get, tapped on the shoulder to be Leonardo DiCaprio or Brad Pitt and rolled right in the front door. Yeah. You've got to break in. You've got to find a way in. But once you make up your mind, like I did, that there's only one way for me to go in this life, and that is into this industry and as far into it as I can go and be the best I can be and go as far as it will allow me to go to show what I can do and to give as a conduit back to the world what I can give. That's where it all goes. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about, really.
Yeah.
So this is the mechanism that ties everything together. And I know some of it I've jumped around a little bit today, and my head's going a million miles an hour now, but it all ties into the whole show here. And it ties into what I was saying really about the internet and why it's been such a blessing for me in my career and my life and the technology and everything and credibility issue, where things become credible and, somebody posts a picture with you and them, a movie star, all of a sudden you're instantly credible or have that credibility or whatever it is. And then whatever it is, but at the same time, it really can destroy your entire life. Now,
100%.
Now it really can destroy your life. Now, even though I still would love to tell people, fuck off, And I've done it recently, like just 6 months ago, that story I told earlier. And she didn't like it, so whatever. But you can't do it really like anymore. You're not really free to say what we all fought for. You know, like we have a Declaration of Independence. We have a freedom of speech. We have, you know, a difference between entertainment, and then we have entertainment that became reality TV, and then we had movies that became too much reality, and now nobody in the entertainment business is allowed to say anything because it all is just taken to be real.
Yes.
It's just real. Everything's real. Like if I said my penis is blue like a Smurf, people would believe that. Or maybe there's a Smurf clan that are going to hit me up online now. You're making fun of Smurfs. You're an evil person. But no, I would bang the hell out of Smurfette. I have no problem with that. And I'd eat the fucking mushroom when I'm done. And it would be dope. Right? So like, let's go for it. But there'll be a group of people that go, no, Jae Benjamin, shame on you. You can't make fun of the little blue people like that. And you're not allowed to talk about eating mushrooms. I'm like, are you kidding me? Detroit just legalized psilocybin today. It is legal today in Detroit to go eat mushrooms, as it is in Oregon and California.
That's right.
Go enjoy yourself. You know what I mean? Like,
that's right.
Like weed, mushrooms, weed's legal. Weed's a beautiful thing. I don't care what people say about it. Weed's great. Mushrooms are mushrooms, man. Like, don't go eat the whole forest of them, but you know, there is a medicinal benefit to them. I can tell you, my grandfather died. My big dad, he was my hero. I couldn't get through that death. I didn't know how to process death. It was the first family member in my life that died. I had no idea what the F to do with any of these. I had no idea what to do. And somebody's like, oh, well, you should try eating a mushroom. And I'm like, oh, well, you're kind of an asshole. That's kind of fucking weird, right? And then a week later, because the person left them in my house, I ate like I microdosed a little bit of this mushroom. I mean, we're talking like a tenth of 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 a gram. Talking like a snowflake. You know what I mean? Like, boom. I, within an hour, understood the entire death. I'd come to peace with it. I was able to write out all of my emotional core. It allowed me to tap into a place. My normal self wasn't allowing me to go in the heal and kind of fix everything. And in a weird kind of fucked up way, as people are hearing this, and they may think it's weird and fucked up, but it's really not. It's a plant that grows in the forest, guys. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Shit works. Like, such a small amount. And I was done. I was done with the death. I understood it, came to grips with it, was at peace with it. This is something that I had never been able to accomplish. And I was blown away forever. And I'm not going out there telling people, go eat mushrooms. No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just talking about experience I had in my lifetime when something like that had happened. But weed, I'm all for the weed. Smoke all the weed you want. You will not die smoking weed. It bothers me that people think what they think. There's still a stereotype out there. I just had Tommy Chong on my show. I'll tell you the same thing. Respect the plant. He did something no one in Hollywood did.
It's a lot of medicinal benefits.
He made it fun. He made it fun. But the point is that this is a medicinal thing. And when I smoke weed, I've been smoking since I'm 18. I don't get high anymore. And I'm not floating around like a duck. Like, I feel like I just had my vitamin C. Like, all right, like you guys drink coffee and whoever does whatever, people drink a Red Bull or whatever, they're coffee. It's out now. But the point is, it's just like big deal. You know, like it's the world.
Just like everything, right? I mean, if it's something you enjoy, if you find that medicinal reason, you find the benefits to it, you're not out there stuffing it in people's face. You're enjoying it to yourself. And that's
correct. You know, I was just on stage. I got brought out to Las Vegas for Reggae Rise Up. And I was on stage with the youth. And we're on stage with the band, and Dan, the lead singer, is is singing one of their famous songs, and a buddy of mine had rolled, I don't know, like just about a half ounce of weed into a spliff. It must have been as big as my leg. The video is on my Instagram page and on my Facebook page, but it's public on my Instagram page. And he lights this big split, and there's like 15,000 fans, and we're all standing on stage. And Dan like holds it up in the air like a magic wand or some shit. Passes it over to my buddy. My buddy passes it to me, and the thing's like this big. So I'm standing on stage as the band's performing with 15,000 fans. I'm smoking this half ounce joint. It's like Statue of Liberty style. Going up there, and it was so much fun, and it just showed you that, this is not, I'm so glad the world is where it is. I lived with Jack Herrera for many years, pre-stroke and post-stroke, and Jack wrote The Emperor Wears No Clothes, and he was the one screaming, hemp, 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 hemp for victory, fuel your cars, build your computers, no more plastic, no more cutting trees, you could do everything, your clothing, the ink, the dyes, all from the hemp plan, all 100% true. They planted it all where the Chernobyl accident happened. They found out years afterwards that the hemp plant absorbed all of the radioactive shit from the air and reclaimed it. Now you can actually habitate it where you could no longer live there. It was inhabitable. Now you can actually move back there because the hemp plant, they planted, I don't know how many acres, but it sucked all of that crap. It sucked all of the biohazard crap out of the air. So I lived with Jack, and I saw it firsthand. My parents weren't happy with it at first. My mom is pretty cool. She was a weed smoker, but she didn't like that. I was in Hollywood now running around and legalizing medical marijuana, and I was in the front of that. I really was with Jack through making Proposition 215 and SB 420 come to fruition, knocking on doors, getting the signatures, and everybody was part of it at that time. You had Jack Herrera, Woody Harrelson, Tommy Chong, Be Real from Cypress Hill, Mitch Margot, who wrote the Beam of Up, the Lions come to.
Yep.
You had Mitch. You had George Clayton Johnson, who was still around, and a mentor of mine. George wrote some of the best Twilight Zone episodes, in my own opinion, written. One being Kick the Can, where the old people are at the old age home, and they go downstairs, they kick the can, and then they turn into their youth. It was the original black and white. One of my favorite. George wrote that, and he was best friends with Ray Bradbury and a bunch of other writers, and he'd written a bunch of Star Trek episodes with Ray and that. And George brought me into his life. And so all these people, though, I guess going up, they were all revolving around Tommy and Jack and this plant. Yeah. This plant changed my entire career. Just a plant, this thing that you can roll up that grows these little flowers.
Crazy,
and when you dry them, they're smokable. Has changed my entire course. Has changed my entire career. And I'm not sad about that. And I've been through some crazy shit because I helped in the green rush in the beginning, and there were companies that used my name to go public and my name now is in the Wall Street Journal. And now I have Uncle Sam literally hauling me into United States courtrooms, asking me why I'm taking marijuana companies public on the United States Stock Exchange when this is a federal Schedule 1 equal to heroin, cocaine, drug, and what the fuck am I doing? And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no money, you know what I mean? They're like, well, your name is in the Wall Street Journal. And I'm like, I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. you know what I mean? So the industry's done crazy shit too, and I've gotten involved in people. Just everybody, this plan is an amazing thing. The point is, there's this conspiracy and this fight. Now it's open, and now people are really seeing through the shadows of the bullshit and the truth of it, which is what Jack would have always wanted. But there still is a lot of nefarious stuff and tinkering around. You be a little careful, but I was in the forefront, running around, helping them build facilities and teaching people how to grow weed and what to do and processing and all that stuff. I love it, and I just it's very very fascinated by all of it, being able to grow a plant legally with a license and turn it into all these things, oils. And I mean, I do it here in the house. I mean, I'm sitting right here, and I have show you fuckers my secret stash. So
he's sitting on a stool made entirely out of weed.
I cultivate. I have a license to cultivate, so I cultivate my own, but I also process my own. So I like to make edibles. But what I'll do is I'll make it into I'll make an oil, a cannabis oil. So now you can use it as a topical cream. You can put it in coffee, drinks. You can make your eggs with it. You can do whatever you want. So I'll freeze huge, I'll make huge, I just broke it. But usually it's a huge block. You can see how green coconut oil is white.
Yeah.
You can see how I've infused the hell out of this. But this is everywhere. It tastes fine. It tastes like cannabis. But the point is, now, you could see it's on my hands a little bit. You just rub it in your skin, and you get all the medicinal effects of it, from the CBD to everything that's in there and whatever it is. So to be able to do this with a plant, especially in my own opinion, from seed to table, I find it. I'm in love with the process.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it, since college, when you weren't allowed to do it. And I would be growing weed in my fucking closet in my dorm room, and I would never get them to flower, because I never really went that far. I just wanted to see if I could kind of just have fun with that.
You could do it, yeah.
And my college girlfriend at the time, I remember her always panicking that I was going to get in trouble. I had a couple of weed plants growing in my closet. But I love it, and I think it's a good thing. And it's definitely better than alcohol and a million other substances that are out there that definitely will kill you.
Yeah. It's really funny because my wife and I were very kind of anti about it. I never saw the allure myself when I was younger, and then she started working for a cannabis company and producing beverages that are absolutely fantastic. And I started seeing those benefits. My mom has arthritis, and we started using CBD oil in her coffee, and her arms, she said, her wrists don't hurt anymore. And myself, you end up having anxiety or something like that. It's fantastic for getting anxiety, shoulder pain. I've got a really sore right shoulder. Take CBD. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I have a bunch of friends that swear by certain CBD products and every one of them have a different CBD product. None of them have the same CBD product, but they swear it's working for all these elements that you're saying as well. And for me, it's different. I have arthritis. I deal with it. I ingest it. I eat it. Everything I can.
Even the THC side, is still really good. Like you said, better than alcohol. I mean, used to be a great beer lover. Loved it. Nowadays, I can't even have a beer without feeling bloated. But I can totally have a THC drink and have absolutely no problem. Absolutely no problem.
Well, your body's 100% cannabinoids.
Yep.
So is the cannabis plant. So when the cannabis plant and you ingest the cannabis in any form, the entourage effect, locking keys into your body because you're 100% cannabinoids. So the cannabinoids and the cannabinoids come together. They marry once it's in your blood system, and they do what they're supposed to do. Imagine being deprived your entire life of vitamin D and vitamin C. And that's what they don't tell you. You're being deprived of substance that your body
naturally forming in your body. Yep.
Yeah, they just purposely didn't make that vitamin. They didn't make the real vitamin C. You got vitamin C, but you really need the vitamin C, the cannabis vitamin. But your body needs it. If you're 100% cannabinoids, and you're being told you cannot have what your body's made 100%. It's like not being allowed to have water.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's
mostly made of water. You still need that water. You still need to hydrate. Yeah.
That's right. Even in some form, in some dose. So you can't say you're at your best until you know. If you're not getting all the things that your body as a human really needs, and apparently as humans, we still have no idea what we all really need. Because if we did, then we'd be all over it, right? But there's all this other stuff out there, right?
Yeah,
but a lot of the answers actually are coming from the plant. Juicing cannabis. I juice cannabis leaves. I'll take the leaves and juice them.
Oh, wow.
And I've noticed a huge difference in my energy, the way my hair and nail growth, a lot of huge stuff. Less pain in certain areas at certain points during the certain seasons, dependent, so it's there's a lot we don't know.
Great for insomnia. So it's all these fantastic things. Our listener there, Mike, says everyone should check out Trust Beverages. Absolutely phenomenal. It's great THC and THC and cannabis. And
do they have it in America?
I'm not sure yet. Actually, I'll look in for that. I'll look in and I'll let you know.
I'm down to try anything, guys. Anything
Okay.
you want me to try, I will try it.
It's fantastic. That like does not taste like bong water like some of those other ones out there. They're absolutely amazing. So, and they even make a non-alcoholic beer that is THC infused that tastes exactly like having a beer.
Yeah, I've had one. Wiz Khalifa has a dispensary, and I went to that dispensary. I think it's Wiz's. It's one of them. It's Wiz's or Snoop's. I can't remember. It's Wiz's or Snoop's or both. Mm-hmm. But one dispensary sells this beer, and it's a cannabis. It's a THC infused beer, which. Okay, you know what I mean, but you know,
it's great for people who want to maybe get off alcohol, though, right? You know, if they really like their beer, but are like I said, you know, if you feel the bloat and stuff afterwards.
I just hand them a fucking joint, man. You know what I mean? Like,
it's true.
You want to get
old habits are hard to die. So,
guys, here's your cure to alcohol, right here. It's called lighter joint. Light it, smoke it.
Yeah. You know, I've never really found fantastic when I smoke it. I always kind of get that sore throat feeling. No need for that. I mean, if you want to take a beverage, you drink it. You want to have an edible, you know, there's always ways around it. And you still get
now you can do a million things. That's right. That's the beauty of it.
100%. Right on. Excellent, Jay. Well, it's been wonderful having you on the show. I know our time is around, but before we get going, I just, of course, want to give you a chance to pitch everything again. I know we had talked about,
thank you so much. I know I was a little rambling all over the place. I got up late today, and I've been working till 5 a.m. on the other TV shows. So a couple TV shows to remember, Fan Room Live, and we have our next Fan Room Live with Tommy Chong again on November 17th coming up.
Amazing.
So come check us out for that. Between the Ropes with Jackie Callan. We'll start airing those episodes soon. We've already filmed the first 7 of those episodes. So those are getting cut up now. We'll start streaming very soon. So look for Between the Ropes, Fan Room Live, Keeping Your Chin Up, and our new cryptocurrency company with Ken Davidian, CoinFlix. And we have, coinflixproductions.com. Go to our website. You can buy us on PancakeSwap through B&B Smart Chain. Everything is out there. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. It's all the information is out there. It explains everything we do as a company, but in the short and nut of it, we help finance films and motion pictures and projects where normally they couldn't get them, and the community gets the vote on which project gets made. So if you're a token holder, like if you held Bitcoin and Bitcoin was making movies, you would get the pick. It's CoinFlix. And in CoinFlix, and we're the only company of its kind, and once you own our token, that gives you power of the community. And as a community, you will vote on what movie gets made, and the community all gets a piece of that movie. And then the movie will go out, and it will go out. We're doing NFTs and all sorts of great, amazing stuff in the crypto space. So it's very, very exciting.
Concept.
So check
really love that.
Check out CoinFlix, and it's spelled like Netflix. CoinFlix. CoinFlix, Between the Ropes with Jackie Callan, Fan Room Live, Keeping Your Chin Up, and Between the Ropes. And we're moving. And then, pretty soon you'll see that new funniest video that certain streamer has.
Once again, congratulations.
Brought me on board. Thank you so much to host that.
Very, very exciting. You have to make sure that you let us know so we can post it up. For any of our listeners who are on the road and listening to this episode after, of course, the live airing, we'll make sure we post up a beautiful picture of Jay on our website under our guest section, and we'll get some links up there so you can get to all these things that we've talked about, and as well as when he does post the secret mystery shows and the things that he's working on, we'll update that to make sure that people can get on there.
That's right. And thank you so much for having me on your show, Anthony. Thanks for letting me drop that little news about the funniest video thing as well as the other shows. And I've had a lot of fun here today.
It's wonderful. Well, I've loved having you. And, we always do kind of like I said, we've got 20 questions. Of course, we ran over today. So that means, of course, we're going to have you come back at some point and give us an update as well as get into those 20 questions so people can get to know you a little bit better.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Once again, it's been a pleasure, Jay. Have yourself a wonderful day.
You too. Thank you so much, Anthony. Have a good one.